Welcome to United Report, your ultimate source for everything Manchester United. From breaking news to in-depth analysis, we've got you covered with all the updates, transfers, and match highlights you need. If you're a true Red Devil, this is your home. Hit that subscribe button and let's dive into the world of United together. Manchester United could be in line for a stunning summer transfer window as Ruben Amorim eyes a massive rebuild. The Red Devils have endured a miserable season so far and sit 13th in the Premier League table. Fans were hopeful that the January transfer window would have given the side fresh impetus, but only two players were signed, Patrick Dorgu and Aiden Heaven from Lecce and Arsenal respectively. United Chiefs have preferred to keep the purse strings tight this winter, ahead of a potential splurge in the summer as Amorim embarks on his first full season. And there are already a few positions where the Portuguese coach is keen to strengthen. That includes both at centre-back and in United's attack. With that being said, Mirror Football has decided to take a look at the potential starting 11 that Amorim could pick on the first day of next season. Despite having a mistake in him, former Inter Milan goalkeeper Andre Onana appears sure to be United's number one for the foreseeable future, but there could potentially be changes in front of him. Dorgu should be drafted in at left-back following his £25 million switch from Lecce. He could potentially be joined by another new signing on the opposite flank. Despite Noussair Mazraoui's impressive debut season, Sporting Lisbon star Giovanni Quenda has been strongly linked with a switch to Old Trafford and would be a perfect candidate for the right wing-back role. There could also be a slight tweak in the heart of defence, with Lisandro Martinez looking likely to be ruled out for the rest of the calendar year. Jarrad Branthwaite is a long-term target of the Red Devils, and a move could be revived should United want a replacement for their injured defender. He would assemble an excellent backline alongside Lenny Yoro and Matthijs de Ligt. Moving into midfield, ex-Sporting Lisbon midfielder Manuel Ugarte should retain his place. Atalanta and Brazil midfielder Ederson has been rumoured to be a contender to replace Casemiro, so could claim a role in United's midfield. Current captain Bruno Fernandes would round off an impressive midfield, but it's in attack where United's new look X is the most exciting. Having recently signed a new deal to stay with United, Amad looks to be a key cog in the club's future. And one man who that could also be true of is Swedish forward Viktor Gyökeres. The Sporting Lisbon star has been linked with United ever since Amorim made the move to Old Trafford. Serious competition from Premier League rivals could potentially put a deal in doubt, but Gyökeres would be a stunning addition to the United squad under his former boss. Potential Man Uti X Onana, Dorgu, De Ligt, Branthwaite, Yoro, Quenda, Ugarte, Ederson, Fernandes, Amad, Gyökeres. After turning down the chance to join Tottenham Hotspur as recently as Friday, few would have anticipated Mathys Tel arriving at the club's Hotspur Way training ground on deadline day. But after an image of him and his agent aboard a private jet went viral shortly after 2 p.m. On Monday afternoon, it looked as though the deal had been revived, much to the frustration and disappointment of many Manchester United supporters. As reported by the United Report News on Sunday, Tel, alongside Chelsea ace Christopher Nkunku, was being considered by the Reds as an option to strengthen their attacking options ahead of the window slamming shut. Following their decisions to allow Marcus Rashford, Ethan Wheatley and Antony on loan, United had left themselves incredibly short on attacking options. Supporters woke up on Monday morning dreaming of about a deadline day swoop for a striker. However, it was confirmed by the Manchester Evening News just over 4 hours ahead of the window closing at 11 p.m. that United would not be adding to the additions of Aiden Heaven and Patrick Dorgu, with the club looking ahead to the summer window instead. Naturally, United supporters vented their understandable frustrations at the club's hierarchy for failing to bring in a striker that head coach Ruben Amorim is so desperately in need of. It now means the Portuguese chief must make do with Rasmus Højlund, who is without a goal in 13 matches, and Joshua Zirkzee, who has 1 goal in his last 16 games, until the summer. Netting 1 goal in their last 29 appearances combined, United fans can be forgiven for wondering where the goals are going to come from. United spent a combined total of £108.5 million on Højlund and Zirkzee in back-to-back summer windows, Højlund arrived as a raw 20-year-old, and Xerxes was signed 11 months later with a profile that did not resemble that of the seasoned goalscorer United needed. As a result of gambling more than £100 million on two players that have so far proven they are not good enough to spearhead United's attack, the Reds would have repeated that gamble, albeit on a lesser financial scale, had they have swooped for Tell. The 19-year-old has not scored a single goal this season and has previously suggested he is not an out-and-out striker, admitting in November 2023 that he is somewhere between a number 9 and a left winger. As high as Tell's ceiling is considered to be, United would have been paying a loan fee based on potential, not pedigree. It has been reported elsewhere that United considered the £5 million loan fee Bayern wanted to be too high. United may have been able to get a tune out of Tell and see him score the goals they are in need of, but they were in a position where they could not afford to take yet another gamble on an unproven striker. Tell has contributed just 1 assist in 14 matches for Bayern this season, last scoring in May. He has found the back of the net just twice since the beginning of April. Of course, if Tell hits the ground running at Tottenham and scores a few goals, questions will inevitably be asked of United for allowing the opportunity to borrow the Frenchman for the second half of the season to slip through their fingers. However, the recent gambles they have taken on Højlund and Xerxes mean that the next striker they sign has to be one with a proven goal-scoring record that can come in, rely on his experience, and hit the ground running. Wayne Rooney confessed he was unsurprised by how Manchester United handled Marcus Rashford before his exit. The 27-year-old forward joined Aston Villa on loan towards the end of the transfer window and will hope to finish the season with a flourish. Rashford has not played since United's Europa League win over Victoria Plzen on December 12th, only featuring in one of the last 12 matchday squads. United boss Ruben Amorim consistently referred to Rashford's efforts in training as the reason he was left out of his plans. You can see on the bench we miss a bit of pace on the bench, but I would put Manchester United goalkeeper coach Jorge Vital before a player who doesn't give the maximum every day, he said last month. Rashford, who has 10 goal contributions so far this term, will hope to make a better impression on Villa boss Unai Emery. United legend Rooney admitted that he told his former teammate to leave the club earlier in his career and was not shocked by United's treatment of Rashford, having seen him training alone while the rest of the squad was in London ahead of their recent win over Fulham. I went into Carrington on Sunday to take my kids to game day, and Marcus was out on the training pitch with the fitness coach, Rooney told the Stick to Football podcast. But he was right over towards where the parents were walking past for the kids' games. I looked at him thinking how embarrassing it must be for him as parents walk past. He added, I was surprised when this started over 2 years ago, but now I'm not. I've spoken to Marcus a couple of times, and I've given him my thoughts and feelings that he needs to leave the club, because whatever is going on in his life and at United, he's not the same. For him to have a fresh start, he needs to leave the club. The fact that your manager is coming out and saying that you're not training right is crazy. While Rashford has sealed a temporary move to Villa, The Guardian has reported that he has very likely played his final game for United, regardless of whether Amorim or another manager is in charge next season. The relationship with his boyhood club is claimed to be beyond repair, and Villa have a £40 million option to sign him in the summer. The England international signed a 5-year contract with United in 2023, following his stellar season at the start of Erik Ten Hag's reign. However, it seems that there is little chance of Rashford being reintegrated into United's plans in the future, even if Villa opt against a permanent deal. Speaking about his decision to join Emery's side, Rashford told Villa TV, I've had to choose somewhere where I feel my style of football is suited to, and can help them and help me rediscover and improve as a player. Obviously, it's only short term I'm here, so I want to make the most of my time here. And the only way to do that is by using my attributes and my skill set to help the team. Manchester United brought teenage goalkeeper Ellie Harrison back from his loan spell last month and have now rejected loan offers to keep him at Old Trafford. He was at National League North side Chester in the early months of the season, but continued to impress, and, upon his return, the teenager was thrown straight into the first-team environment by Ruben Amorim. Harrison was on the bench for yesterday's home defeat by Crystal Palace, underlining his rising profile. Clubs from League One and League Two are all keen on landing the goalkeeper on loan, but the 18-year-old will spend the rest of the season in Manchester, with the club opting against letting him leave, as first reported by the BBC. Harrison has played for the U21s, but remained part of the first-team picture, which was underlined by the fact he was included during the loss to the Eagles. The teenager is highly thought of and cost the Premier League side £500,000 when they signed him from Stevenage. He's had first-team exposure in the past, with Harrison featuring in the squad across several pre-season friendlies back in the summer, although he wasn't part of the US tour. Andre Onana is the club's number one, but even he has faced his own critics. The Cameroonian was signed under the previous regime, but has made errors that have led directly to goals. In the loss to Wolves, he was beaten direct from a corner and was responsible for a goal scored by Brighton as they won at Old Trafford recently. His understudy Altay Bayindir has continued to see his minutes limited. He was less than impressive in the Carabao Cup loss to Tottenham in December, but just weeks ago was the hero as United knocked out Arsenal in the FA Cup. Harrison is one of the most highly rated youngsters in the academy. He is the second goalkeeper to win the Reserve Player of the Year award, which he won last season. He was also the youngest recipient since Adnan Januzaj scooped the prize. The teenager was part of the team that won the U18 Premier League trophy last term, as he was in goal in the 2-1 win over Chelsea in the final.